Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. You are now watching Miss Burlady TTC, and today we're going to talk a little bit about some lessons I learned on my first solo cruise. Okay, so my first solo cruise was in January of this year, 2017, and I went on a 13-day carnival cruise towards it was a Carnival Journeys cruise in the Southern Caribbean, and I went out of the Baltimore port on Carnival Pride. So I'm going to do about 3 videos today on solo cruising. This first video we're going to talk about is just some life lessons I learned while I was on there. And this will really help you throughout the cruise, and these are things to take with you when you get off the ship. So I, for that particular time in my life, I was transitioning from a job that I was unhappy with and very stressed out to a new job in a different industry, kind of, and it was going to be a different experience for me. So I was kind of scared about, I didn't really know a lot of things about the job I was about to start. However, I was ready for it just for something new. So I was moving, doing a lot of transitioning, and this was kind of my 2 week getaway to renew and refresh my mind for the year. So let's talk about the first lesson. Don't let fear live in your heart. So that's these are cliche things too. This is not going to be like a list of something that you may not already know. You may already know half these things, but don't let fear live in your heart. I'm I'm 29 years old right now, so this video can relate to anybody I feel like, but this is particularly for my age group. If you're just thinking things through and everything, like, you might not solo cruise because you're afraid of being by yourself or you're afraid of not having a fun time. You can't let that fear live in your heart. You have to let it go and just do life. And fear keeps you from living, experiencing things, from growing. Um, it breeds poor assumptions about people. Um, so you're not safe somewhere. This whole feeling that you're um, in danger, and I'm not talking about obvious danger. I'm talking about, like, we're going to another country and you're scared to get off the port, uh, to get off the ship because you're afraid someone's going to harm you. That's that's silly, especially if you're going on a cruise with a company that is going to the port. They wouldn't take you somewhere that is totally unsafe. So you just have to let it go. Use common sense and wisdom anywhere you go, and you'll be okay. So don't let fear live in your heart, because it keeps you from experiencing things and it breeds poor assumptions. Number two, you need to be open minded and receptive. Again, that's not, it's common knowledge, but you would be surprised how many people I've met, and I've observed a lot of these in older people than me who were just not did not interact well with people, and I noticed the things and behaviors they did that were not conducive to being around a group of people that wanted to share their company. And if you're closed minded and not receptive to ideas and thoughts, not people are going to want to interact with you, because you just have to have that open mind. And you can get a different perspective from somebody who may not share the same viewpoints as you. Like, for example, around that time of year, we had an inauguration. There are a lot of different political viewpoints. And usually, when you're on a cruise, you don't have to worry about any of that because all that stuff doesn't matter. It's a community of its own. But again, just being open and receptive to different perspectives. You don't have to take it in and change your life from it. Just listen to what someone has to say. Um, and you might actually learn something new. Number three, most times it is better to be silent. Yes, if it's okay to enjoy other people's company. Although you want to be engaged, know when you're over speaking, you're not allowing someone else to contribute to the conversation and contribute to dinner. Like, and this is especially important at dinner. You might have an obnoxious table mate who likes to overtalk everybody and kind of down talk everybody. People shy away from that, and they may not say anything because they don't want to be impolite, but they're they don't really care for that person. So it puts off a bad vibe at the table. You just want to be someone who can listen. You'll be able to engage and stuff, and I'll get to that later. But definitely try to be silent sometimes. You might be surprised at what you might actually find out from somebody, and somebody might want to share things with you. Okay. Also, to add to that, if you cannot add value to a conversation, it's okay to be silent. If you don't have, think about it, you don't have anything to prove to anyone. You are on a cruise and a vacation to relax, enjoy yourself. You don't have to prove anything to those to people. You can just relax and be yourself. And no need to try to outshine somebody. It doesn't matter. You're on vacation. What they think of you doesn't matter. Just be on vacation and be whoever you want to be. Number four, um, be the conversation starter. What I mean by that is if you're in a situation where, let's say, you're on the elevator, you are let's walking, um, what's a good word? You're in line maybe to get off the ship or get on the ship. Be the conversation. Just say hello. Ask someone how uh, if they're having a good time. If you sit next to somebody in the grand way area where they do a bunch of shows, engage. Ask them, hey, are you enjoying your cruise? Who's coming up next? Just start a conversation. And what I mean by two is like you never know who you're going to meet. So for one example of a great example of how being a conversation starter kind of changed things for me on my solo cruise, I was having a good time and enjoying myself, but I did some prior meetups with people, and amongst the group there was one lady in particular there, and she um I think I just passed by. I was walking past, but we had that brief conversation. And then she went and won something at a bingo game. And the first person she thought of to share her prize with was me. And so I got to go on an excursion with her. And I didn't even have to do it, do any pay for it or anything. It was just a nice because the person who was supposed to go, I think her daughter who was supposed to go on a cruise with her didn't come, end up not coming to on the cruise. So it worked out. So we had a blast, and I actually booked two more excursions to do with her and swap one out because she was pretty awesome and she was a solo cruiser. So we had a blast. We went to the casino and I did other things with her and other people, but it's just you never know how just starting a conversation could lead to something where you'll have a social activity that you didn't expect. And it was pretty darn fun. Okay. Um, there's power in no thank you. Now, I wrote that particular note in reference to when you're getting off the port and people are trying to sell you stuff you don't want to buy, say no thank you. No thank you. And then also when you think when you're on a cruise ship and people are offering something, you can just say no thank you. You don't have to get an attitude. You don't have to harbor any kind of resentment or just like be angry. And it can get overwhelming when you're in Colombia because they're really, really asking you all the time. And so I got a lot of power in just saying no thank you because usually I'm just like, okay, I'll go with the flow. But if you don't want to do something, say no thank you. You don't want to buy something, say no thank you. You're fine. You may have to say it 1,000 times, but you'll be fine. It's okay. No need to take on the world of self pity and say you're not gonna come back to a place or you're not going to go on another type of cruise, because this was a big deal for people apparently being asked questions, whatever. So I just say no thank you. And this also goes along for when, let's say if there's a day you just don't want to leave your room, you want to spend the day alone. You can do that on your solo cruise because it's your vacation. So say no thank you. When someone asks you to hang out, don't feel bad. Just say no thank you. I don't feel like doing it today. And then offer to reschedule for another time or meet up at a later time. You just may never want to meet up with them because that may not be what you're trying to do for your cruise. That's perfectly fine. Don't feel overwhelmed, just say no thank you. Okay, lesson number 7. No, lesson number 6. Okay, there's a world greater than your own. Again, that goes back to my point about perspectives, and you might get a different perspective other than your own. Your world, from wherever you come from, is just your little bubble, wherever it is, your city, your town. But when you're on a cruise, there are so many different people from not even just America and different states, but different countries. There's people on the cruise I went on. There are people who flew in from China, and I had a casual conversation with them in the line on the way to get on the ship. And throughout the time I saw them, I always just checked in. Hey, how you doing? Did you enjoy your cruise? Are you having fun? And just simple hello. It was just a friendly gesture, and that made a big difference when if you're feeling homesick or lonely at a moment. That makes a totally big difference just to see a familiar face. And also, there was a guy that I met when I was coming from the airport on a transfer to the cruise ship. And he was going solo and kind of really sticking to himself. But again, every time I saw him, I'd be like, hey, how you doing? And I'll check on him because that builds the connections. I never hung out with any of those people, but that doesn't matter. That keeps your morale up throughout the cruise. Um, but yeah, if there's a world greater than your own, you can learn so much from people, and you may even make friendships that will last a lifetime. There may be people that you connect with on another cruise, and there are people that have followings. They get into groups on Cruise Critic or whatever blog site they're on, and they connect continuously on Facebook. And so it's a very fun community you can be a part of if you want to. Oh, number 7. I heard this from John Hill because he was actually on our cruise, but I'm sure he got this from somebody else. But life is too short to not have fun. It really is. You need to just be yourself. On every cruise that I've went on, no matter, like I've had other people with me, sometimes I'll act like a complete fool, and not like loud and obnoxious, but just crazy, like just letting myself go, having fun, jumping up and down in appropriate places. Like if there's a dance party, like having a blast dancing, letting myself go and not being standoffish. Because I felt free. I feel so free when I go on cruises. I may not ever see these people again. Why does it matter to me what they think of me? And most times they want to be out there with you dancing. So you just grab people and dance. And some people won't come, but whatever. But you go out there and have a blast. This is your solo cruise. Even if you're going with other people, do not limit yourself to being the same in the shell person that you are when you're at home. Be free. And number 8, in the final lesson, um, I think this is actually the most important. Challenge yourself to love. And no, I don't mean love, I mean actually love. What I mean by that is you might come from an area that has a lot of prejudice towards a certain group of people of different nationality or whatever it is. But if you have values um, that are rooted in your beliefs, that or how you were raised, just as if you love people, for example, like with Christianity, like if you are commissioned to love people, actually love them and know how to be that person. And it frees you from trying to be like person full of judgment against them, or not so much judgment. I don't mind when you judge people. Like everybody has discernment. If you don't got none, there's something wrong with you. But like you don't have to go out there and condemn people or like look down on them. So that was a big thing I noticed because there were some people that had just a lot of issues and they brought that with them. And so people kind of shy away from them because they were just talking a lot and they had a lot of other obnoxious things. But what I found myself doing is like, okay, let me learn, let me practice loving this person by entertaining them for a moment, giving them some interaction. So if I saw them sitting alone for breakfast, I would probably go eat a meal with them. And that's about it. I don't have to hang out with them or anything, but there's people like, everybody gets lonely. And so I actually see someone for who they are and try to engage. So those are the 8 lessons I learned from senior cruisers, regardless of age, but mostly the one I went up to is age range, and they're like diamond and platinum members. So asked, I, uh, I hope that you will be able to take, if not all these lessons, some of them with you, at least one of them, to as you journey on your solo cruise, and hopefully it'll make a difference in your life and on your vacation. Well, stay tuned for my next video. I'm going to go over some more tips about solo cruising and my experiences from solo cruising with some stories. So be sure to subscribe so you can check that out. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like this video and comment about your experiences with solo cruising and any kind of tips that you may have for life. Thanks for watching. This is Burlady TTC. Bye.